so I don't forget. All right. Okay. So last week we began our story. It was an awesome beginning. Let me pull up my chat box here real quick in case people need to contact me. Okay, there we go. So last week we began the beginning of the story, and today we are going to try to get at least the middle of the story done, if not potentially the middle and the ending. So let's do a quick review of everything before we get writing again. So let me paste another document in for those who just showed up. If you just jumped into the session, I just pasted the link for the Google document in there. Okay, so quick review. Our conflict is the petty Twitter fight. Our rising action is Gandalf starts monologuing before he challenges Goku and Superman to a Twitter battle. Goku and Superman feel up to the challenge. Goku and Superman feel up to challenge Gandalf in a Twitter war to gain a chance for the championship against Dumbledore because they became interested in the it said whatever, but it's the APWTBC club. There we go. And so they want to be a part of it, even though they aren't wizards. So that's the rising action. The climax is Gandalf wants to prove himself better at Twitter battling than Albus Dumbledore, who is the supreme champion in the APWTBC club. The falling action is the three main characters, Goku, Superman, and Gandalf, find out that Dumbledore was behind the dumb Twitter war manipulating everyone. The main characters wreck Dumbledore by exposing that he was manipulating the Twitter battle. The resolution was that Dumbledore used to be the leader of the club, and he gets fired because he was manipulating people with the Imperial curse. Then Gandalf becomes the leader of the club and the champion of the Twitter battle. All right. Oh, thanks, Paige. I was just getting ready to do that. Perfect. So those are the different parts. We started the beginning of the story where we introduced the three main characters and the setting. And then today we're going to get into the middle of the story. So we need to remember that we need to introduce the conflict, the rising action, and the climax in that middle part of the story. We're going to do the same thing as we did last week for those of you who were here. We had kind of a small group since there was a weird glitch in the reminder email being sent through Canvas. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down the list that I have of people in the Google document. So if you're not in the Google document yet, make sure you hop in. Right now I have Alexia, I have an anonymous orangutan, but I don't know who that is. So make sure that you're signed in through your school Gmail. If you're signed in through your school Gmail, your name will come up rather than the anonymous animal. And I have, yeah.
Whenever I go in there, it always lags. Like whenever I go into the Google Doc.
Yeah, I know sometimes it gets laggy when a lot of people are in there, but let's have you jump in anyway. Or we can just get you at the end of the list and you can use the chat box too. So maybe instead of me using the Google document, I'll use the lineup that's in Zoom instead. So I have Paige, Riley, Alexis, Bonnie, Jacob, Amaya, Shaylin, Connor, Alina, Julia, Alexia, Brian, Ayla, Aiden, Nicole, Kaylee or April, Destiny, and Jonathan. So I'll probably just go down that list instead, since some people have issues with the Google Docs. If you can't access the Google Doc, you can write your sentence into the chat box for Zoom, and I'll switch it over. Sound good? Oh, Connor, you're in there too? That's weird, it didn't pop up. Maybe it skipped a page. Okay. So if it comes to your turn and you're not sure if you have an idea yet, if you want to skip your turn, you can. You can always get you in the next round. Okay. Any questions about that process at all? No? Okay, perfect. So here's the beginning. This is what was written last week. Once upon a time, in a far-off land, there was a lonely mountain. It was lonely partially because no one wanted to live on a place called the Lonely Mountain, but also because it wasn't exactly the dream vacation spot. The only two people who would go there were Goku and Superman. The reason why they went to the Lonely Mountain was to hold a secret meeting for the APWTBC. They met without the full APWTBC group in order to secretly discuss a Twitter battle with Gandalf. Goku and Superman are stronger than Gandalf, but not as good at Twitter as him. Down at the base of the Lonely Mountain, Albus Dumbledore, Gandalf's arch nemesis, was plotting an evil plan to beat Gandalf. Little did they know that Goku and Superman are planning the same thing at the top of the mountain. When they were planning, they realized they didn't know how to defeat him, so they came up with a foolproof plan. Goku and Superman rushed to the base of the mountain where Dumbledore was conspiring and discussed a new master plan with him. Okay, so that is the beginning. The middle of the story, we need to introduce the conflict, which kind of has already been introduced a little bit, the petty Twitter fight. The rising action and the climax. So if you need to go back and kind of keep reviewing those parts, feel free to scroll up on your Google document so we can remember to get those, all the parts in there. Okay, so as my lineup goes with Zoom, Jarrett would be up first to write the next sentence beginning the middle of the story. Jarrett's missed most of the planning, so if you feel like you need to skip to kind of get into the story a little bit, that's fine. However, if you feel ready to jump in and participate, that would be great. No problem, Jonathan. What do you think, Jarrett? Want to give it a try?
Could I like wait a little bit to see how it goes, like what everyone else writes, and then kind of join in so I get like the through story?
Absolutely. Yeah, no problem.
Sweet.
So it might be better. I know Paige is saying she can't see the chat box in the Google document. I think actually let's go ahead and use just the chat box in Zoom. That will make it easier so we don't have two different chat boxes going as well as everything else. That way I know you can see the chat box in Zoom. So let's stick to chatting in Zoom instead of the Google Doc. Okay, so Jarrett's gonna skip. Riley, that would make you up next. Do you wanna get a sentence in here to get the middle of the story started? So you want to skip this round, Riley? come back to you?
I mean, if you want me to, I can try to, but there's no promises on how solid it'll be.
Well, let's see. Paige is up next. Let's see if Paige wants to start it. I know Paige is pretty into knowing what's going on with the planning. So Riley wants to skip. So Paige, how do you feel about getting into that middle? Just a split second, Paige. Let's copy that. Let's copy that part you started, and let's paste it down here in the middle of the story, just so we can kind of look at the different chunks, and then we'll put it all together in the end. Yeah, awesome, perfect, thanks. Awesome. All right. So Paige has, after Goku, Superman, and Dumbledore finished planning, they decided to call an official APWTBC meeting. So let's see, who do I have next on? Alexis, you are next on the list. I know last week you were having a hard time typing into the Google Doc. So if you need to type into the chat box, you can do that. That's fine. Awesome. So Jonathan, we're sticking to using just the chat box in Zoom for today. I know you had to take a quick break, so you didn't hear that. Just to be less confusing, having fewer chat boxes up. So Alexis is typing. Remember, this is a good moment where you can always go back and kind of reread. Sometimes it's helpful to reread. Paige, you have a great question, but maybe they don't know that he's a bad guy, and once they realize he's a bad guy, maybe they separate from him. Yeah, Jacob says, remember that Dumbledore is manipulating them, so he could be, yeah, perfect. All right, so Alexis has hers. Let me copy this and paste it in. Oopsie. Okay, I'm gonna reread all of it because I know we just had a couple people come back in here. Okay, so once upon a time in a far off land, there was a lonely mountain. It was lonely partially because no one wanted to live on a place called the Lonely Mountain, but also because it wasn't exactly the dream vacation spot. The only two people who would go there were Goku and Superman. The reason why they went to the Lonely Mountain was to hold a secret meeting for the APWTBC. They met without the full APWTBC group in order to secretly discuss a Twitter battle with Gandalf. Goku and Superman are stronger than Gandalf, but not as good at Twitter as him. Down at the base of the Lonely Mountain, Albus Dumbledore, Gandalf's arch nemesis, was plotting an evil plan to beat Gandalf. Little did they know that Goku and Superman are planning the same thing at the top of the mountain. When they were planning, they realized they didn't know how to defeat him, so they came up with a foolproof plan. Goku and Superman rushed to the base of the mountain, where Dumbledore was conspiring, and discussed a new master plan with him. After Goku, Superman, and Dumbledore finished planning, they decided to call an official APWTBC meeting. They decided to meet at the tip of the mountain. All right, Bonnie, you're up next. It looks like Bonnie's got some ideas going. I see her smile. Of course. Oopsie. All right. After Goku, Superman, and Dumbledore finished planning, they decided to call an official APWTBC meeting. They decided to meet at the tip of the mountain. There was a Taco Bell there, so they could eat too. All right, Jacob, you're up next. So, Jacob, make sure you use the Zoom chat so we don't have two different ones popping up. Do you want to skip for a second, Jacob, or do you want a couple minutes or a couple seconds to just try to recall it? Okay, so Jacob's going to skip for now. I did see that Riley had an idea. Riley, does your idea fit in here now? Do you want to jump back to your turn? Okay, so go ahead, Riley. If you need to type it in the chat box, go for it. I'll just paste it over there. So the antagonist is Gandalf, right? But we also find that Dumbledore ends up being a manipulating bad guy too. So Riley, your idea is a bigger like scheme idea where we're actually getting into just the actual like writing of the story. So I'm not sure that you have a great big idea, but we're kind of past those big ideas. That's what we were doing when we were planning out the story. So just go ahead and keep listening to the story, and let's look and see how you can get the smaller details in a little bit later, okay? So I think, Shaylin, you're next. You're next on my list. You want to jump in there and write the next sentence? Okay, so Shaylin's going to skip for now. Amaya, I have you up next.
Wait, what? Sorry.
You're up next to write a sentence.
Can I skip for now?
Sure. All right, Raiden, you're next. Remember, as you're kind of waiting on other people to put stuff in, you can go back and reread if that's helpful for you. Not sure. Let's pause for just a second. Let's go back up here and look at what we need to get into this part. So we need to get the conflict, the rising action, and the climax. So the conflict is the petty Twitter fight, which we've kind of already started setting up. The rising action is Gandalf starts monologuing before he challenges Goku and Superman to the Twitter battle. Goku and Superman feel up to challenge Gandalf in a Twitter war to gain the chance for the championship against Dumbledore, because they become interested in the APWTBC club, and so they want to be a part of it, even though they aren't wizards. Sorry, that's kind of a weird wording. The climax is Gandalf wants to prove himself better at Twitter battling than Albus Dumbledore, who is the supreme champion. So those are the parts. Those are the 3 parts we want to get into this middle section of the story. Monologue is when the character kind of tells the listener or the viewer about their plan, kind of their evil plan. All right. So does that help a little bit? Okay, so let's see. Let's see if Connor wants to jump in here. Connor, it's your turn to write a sentence. I think we're working towards Gandalf doing a monologue to share his plan. Okay, so Connor, skip in. Alina. Alina, are you going to jump in and put a sentence in? I'm not sure if Alina's with us. Let's keep going. Julia. Oh, Alina, sorry, I just saw your text. So Alina's skipping. Julia, are you ready to jump in? Nice. All right. Julia has, oops. That is not what I meant to paste. I'm not sure where that one came from. Okay. So we have, after Goku, Superman, and Dumbledore finished planning, they decided to call an official APWTBC meeting. They decided to meet at the tip of the mountain. There was a Taco Bell there, so they could eat too. After taking a break of eating, they decided to continue working on their plan. All right. So, Alexia, you're up next. Okay, Alexia's skipping for now. Brian, how about you? Okay, Brian, it looks like Brian's skipping. let's see, Ayla. So Jacob has I know Jacob skipped, but he has an interesting idea. No problem, Ayla. So Jacob says, yes, absolutely, Alexis, you can dialogue between characters. Jacob says, Gandalf monologues, I shall manipulate these two fools, Goku and Superman. Once I get them to win the Twitter battle that they should get rid of one challenge. And once I get them on my side to defeat Dumbledore, I will betray them. And the title for, I think, and take the title for myself, ha 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 ha. What do you guys think about that monologue? All right, let's copy that. Let's see. So here we have, let's see, after Goku, Superman, and Dumbledore finished planning, they decided to call an official APW-TBC meeting. They decided to meet at the tip of the mountain. There was a Taco Bell there so they could eat too. After taking a break of eating, they decided to continue working on their plan. Should we put something like, we need a transition here. Should we put something like, meanwhile, and then like put that dialogue in, that monologue? Oh, Paige, you said you've got one. We definitely need a transition before that monologue. Yeah, go for it, Paige. Because I don't think Gandalf is at this planning right now, right? It's just Goku, Superman, and Dumbledore. So I think Gandalf is somewhere else. Oh yeah, sorry, that's my dog squeaking her toy. Is it annoying? Oh, perfect. Good transition. Okay, let me paste in. So you're saying he stormed in and saying this, but I kind of feel like this monologue is really more for the viewers or the readers rather than something that would be said to Goku and Superman.
Yeah, I don't think you should be saying it out loud. I think you should just be thinking it.
Or remember Gandalf is, hold on a second, Eddie, do you mind giving her a different toy so she's not squeaking? Sorry. She was really enjoying that squeaker toy. So yeah, so remember Gandalf's not a part of this. So maybe he's having this like monologue somewhere else. Or he could storm in and say something different, and then we could put this monologue in its own paragraph as like a secondary conversation.
Could you have someone walk in and like overhear him saying that?
Yeah. How about Jared, do you want to jump in and make some of those changes? I do like the monologue. I think it's just finding that right transition.
I mean, I could try, but
Yeah.
I'm not good at fantasy writing. I'm much better at like argumentative writing.
That's okay. Go ahead and try.
Another thing is that you can have them, like, you can have him talking about doing a Twitter battle with the other bad guy, not Goku and Superman, but you can have,
Dumbledore.
yeah, you have him be talking with like Goku and Superman about doing a Twitter battle with Dumbledore, and then whenever Goku and Superman walk away, talking about like that, he could be like, oh, then I could betray them, ha ha ha.
So do you want to make some changes, Amaya?
No, it's just an idea.
Just an idea. Okay. The other thing I could think of with this transition is that when everybody was finishing eating, suddenly Gandalf storms in and says, he could say something more like, you know, I challenge you, Goku and Superman, to a Twitter war. And then it could say, and then there could be a comment about how, but really in the back of his head, he was thinking, and then we could have Jacob's monologue. What about something like that? So he's still kind of storming in and he's saying one thing out loud, but really like monologuing something different in his brain.
I like that idea.
So let's see. Everyone was finished eating, and suddenly Gandalf stormed in and said, so what should he say as he storms in? Anybody want to jump in and do that part?
Jump in and what?
Oh, does anybody want to jump in and write that part? So we could say, everybody was finished eating, and then suddenly Gandalf stormed in and said, what did he, someone want to jump in and say what he said? And then we could say, but really he was thinking, and then that's Jacob's monologue.
What if we said something along the lines of, I challenge like a Twitter battle, don't worry, you'll win, something like that.
It looks like Paige wrote one here. Let's see. Oopsie, I keep doing that. Let's see. Okay, so everybody was finished eating, and then suddenly Gandalf stormed in and said, I challenge Goku and Superman to a Twitter battle. But really, he was thinking, I shall manipulate these two fools, Goku and Superman. Once I get them to win the Twitter battle, that should get rid of one challenge. And once I get them on my side to defeat Dumbledore, I will betray them and the title, and take the title for myself. Ha 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 ha. How does that sound? That sounds a little bit more coherent. All right, well, let's keep going on with that. So that's the, So we've set up the conflict now, right? And let's go back and look at here. Let's see. Rising action. Gandalf, okay, so he's got the monologue done. So Goku and Superman feel up to the challenge of the Twitter war. So we need to get that part in. I'm not sure. I think Ayla, you were next, I believe. Ayla, do you want to jump in and type that part? Okay, so go ahead and do that. You can jump into the Google Doc and do it. So I think we've got part of the rising action, which is the monologue part, but then I think that the second part of the rising action was, let me scroll back up just so I don't say it wrong. So the rising action, which is kind of what we're working on, is Gandalf starts monologuing before he challenges Goku and Superman to a battle, which he did. Goku and Superman feel up to the challenge, and Goku and Superman feel up to the challenge, Gandalf in the Twitter war. So basically, we need to show that Goku and Superman are gonna battle him in the Twitter war. All right, so I'm going to read the whole middle of the story again so it all kind of makes sense. After Goku, Superman, and Dumbledore finished planning, they decided to call the official APW-TBC meeting. They decided to meet at the tip of the mountain. There was a Taco Bell there so they could eat too. After taking a break of eating, they decided to continue working on their plan. Everybody was finished eating, and then suddenly Gandalf stormed in and said, "I challenge Goku and Superman to a Twitter battle." But really, he was thinking, "I shall manipulate these two fools, Goku and Superman. Once I get them to win the Twitter battle, that should get rid of one challenge. And once I get them on my side to defeat Dumbledore, I will betray them and take the title for myself. Ha 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 ha." Goku and Superman exchanged looks before turning to the plotting Dumbledore. We challenge you to a petty Twitter fight. After all, we want into the APWTBC. So my question would be, are we really talking about the plotting Dumbledore, or are we talking about the plotting Gandalf? Because Gandalf is the one who just stormed in. Yeah, I think it's Gandalf because he's, and maybe it's, instead of we challenge you, maybe it's we accept your challenge, because didn't Gandalf just challenge them? So should we change that to we accept your challenge? Awesome. Yeah, I think that looks good. Nice. So we've got the rising action in there really well. Let's go back here, and you did a great job, Ayla, of tying in that they wanted to be a part of the club even though they weren't wizards. That was good. So the climax of it is Gandalf wants to prove himself better at Twitter battling than Albus Dumbledore, who is the supreme champion. However, I feel like part of that needs to be the actual Twitter war, right? So Gandalf just challenged Goku and Superman, and they accepted the challenge. So I kind of feel like maybe we need to have a little bit of a Twitter battle. Does anybody else feel that way?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a couple yeses. So
Well,
maybe we could spend a little bit of time working on that. And I know that in the past we've talked about the Twitter battle being something that was more of a witty battle rather than like a mean battle.
what if, like, you either do a Twitter battle, or you could have them come to realize that, like, a lesson about how each and every one of them is different and has a different purpose.
Oh, during the Twitter battle?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Twitter battle can be whatever spin people want. I think we mainly just talked about staying away from it being a slander where we're just like being mean, because that's not really fun anyway. So I think Aiden, you are up next. Do you want to write something that transitions us into that Twitter battle? Okay, so Aiden's gonna skip. Nicole, how about you? Do you want to write a sentence to help us transition into that Twitter battle? Awesome, go for it. Paige, I don't use Twitter, so I don't really know. So if somebody else wants to explain that, that'd be better. I think it's kind of funny that you guys all picked a Twitter battle, but most of you don't use use Twitter. So Jonathan says we need to use hashtag Twitter war. Oops, I'm trying to copy your sentence, Nicole. There we go. Sorry, Eddie, could you take her outside the potty for me? Okay, so Nicole says, oops, I meant to, there we go. A few hours later, Gandalf started tweeting rude things about Superman and Goku. So they can be rude, but let's make them witty and rude. If they're gonna be rude, let's make them witty. Okay, so let's see. Paige, you are up next. So Paige, do you want to start us off on this Twitter battle? So Gandalf apparently starts it. Paige says she needs some tweet ideas. Riley, let's keep our questions and stuff to the story right now. Yeah, I think we need to start with a hashtag page. I think you were right there. So are we starting with hashtag Twitter war and then the comment? Is that what we do? Again, I don't use Twitter, so I don't even know.
Hashtag Twitter war.
Hashtag Twitter war. And then the whatever comment, is that right? Oh, Aiden says you can put the hashtag anywhere in the tweet. But generally it comes before or after the comment. Okay, cool. All right, Paige is reaching out, asking what the first tweet should be. Well, maybe it's some kind of, I don't know. So Gandalf does it. It's against, I mean, it could be against each other, but it could be something else. It could just be like, it could be like just some weird pun. Although it does, Nicole did set it up that he was tweeting something rude about Superman and Goku. So what kind of pun could we come up with that could be funny, but also maybe a little rude, I guess, against Superman or Goku? There you go, Superman, more like super lame. Jacob also puts an idea in here, something about Gandalf roasts Goku's name as glucose. So awesome. Okay, so now I think we should just go back and forth, right? So let's see, Jonathan, I think you're up next. It looks like Aiden's got an idea down here too in the chat box. Yeah, you could, nice, Alexis. Alexis' idea was that you could joke about Goku being a cartoon. So Jonathan wants to skip. How about Destiny? Okay, Destiny's skipping. So Alexis, let's pull in your idea. What could we do? So I think it would be, wouldn't it be Gandalf would be making the comment about them being a cartoon? So it could be that he's making a comment about both of them being a cartoon. Let's see. Well, we're back to Jarrett. Let's see if Jarrett's got a tweet. Let's see. So we've got one tweet so far, and that's Gandalf saying, Superman more like super lame. So do we want Superman or Goku to, or Superman and Goku to rebuttal something against Gandalf? Last week we were going on and on about or not we, a few of you were going on and on about Gandalf's beard. Could Superman and Goku come up with some funny, like, punny thing about Gandalf's beard?
You could say, like, did you find any ants in your beard? I don't know. I'm not good at this.
Go for it.
Me and creativity just don't get along.
Oh, that's not true.
Okay, and then second question. I'm like, I've never used Twitter in my life. I'm the Instagram person. So do you say @ or hashtag?
I think it's hashtag.
Okay.
You just type in the person's name and it automatically will pop up. So it's kind of like Facebook mixed with Instagram.
Right.
So we've got two ideas. We've got one about ants. We've got someone made a comment about, do you braid at night? We could get both of those in.
Or how many shampoo bottles do you get through just to wash your beard?
There you go. There's another one.
I think
All
that's
right.
good. The last one.
The shampoo bottles. Okay. So let's get that. Oh, Jacob's going. Good job, Jacob. Well, don't erase all of it. Go ahead and keep it up there. Okay, so Jacob just lost his train of thought. So let's get something in there about the bottle of shampoo. Who wants to type that in? Jarrett, do you want to jump in and type it in? I think that was your idea.
Yeah, it was. Enter.
So Jacob's got it started for you. He has the hashtag Twitter War comment from whatever that name is.
All right, give me a second. I gotta.
Awesome. Let's add one more part to it that Paige put in here that's really funny, and then we'll sign off. So before that, let's stick this in here. All right, I know time's up and people have to get going. So really quick reminder, make sure that you go up to the top. I know some people are still typing in there, that's totally fine. Make sure you copy this reflection question, paste it, and answer it into the Canvas assignment for today. And spend the next week thinking about some funny, punny Twitter war comments. And we'll come back and finish it up next week. Sound good? All right. See you all later.
Bye, Miss Powell.
Bye.